Hello and welcome to F1 2020. As you can see on screen, we are Pure Racing. This is our team name for this series and this game. If you aren't aware, F1 2020, you create your own team, you pick a driver to help you, and you manage everything from the ground up. And if you haven't already done so, this is your first time here, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and also the notification bell.
Now we've got a budget to work with. Our car won't be
We're just going through the few things now, going through the menus. We've picked the hardest potential sponsor we can get, which is 25 constructor points for the year. And now what you can see on your screen is the engine supplier. We're going to be going with Renault because it's a nice balance for the cost. Right now what we're doing is we're going to pick our teammate, and we have two options. We have Jack Aitken and Noburu Matsushita, and if you don't know already, this is the raw footage from the Twitch stream. So if you don't follow my Twitch, there is some information in the bottom left hand side of your screen now. Twitch.tv/DanReHitYou. All the streams are done there, all the footage is taken from there, and this is what we present to you on YouTube. So we are going to go with Noburu, or Nobu as I'm going to call him, or Shita. Oh, right, so let's see what we have now. We have to pick the livery, and there you go, that is the finished product. We just skipped over the customization part, and we're going with like a duck egg blue/green and a black and a nice little simple emblem at the top. Now we've got our first press conference/interview, so let's see what's got to be said.
Okay, we're live in 5, 4, 3.
Hello folks, and welcome to the HQ of Formula One's newest team. We've been invited backstage to gain an exclusive insight into what could be one of the most exciting entries in the sport for many years. Now, we've seen a number of new teams enter the sport over the last decade, amongst their number Manor, Caterham, HRT and of course Haas. And while some have proved to be successful, others have morphed into different teams and some have disappeared completely. What marks this team out though as being something different is that its owner is also its driver. There's a rich history of that in Formula 1 too. Sir Jack Brabham, John Surtees, Graham Hill and Bruce McLaren all drove their own cars in the sport, but it has become increasingly rare in recent years. What's very special about this team though is that while the team itself is new to Formula 1, so too is its driver and owner.
Whatever happens this season, you've already made the history books. Tell me, do you feel up to the mammoth task of both
Let's just try and big up this team as much as we possibly can. So we're going to go, it's not about me, it's all about the team. I'm behind them 100%.
Needs two drivers. But what was it that drew
So
you
now we're going to
to
discuss
your
the
teammate?
teammate, because what we say here reflects on us for the season. So we're going to compliment him,
No one aims to finish bottom of
as
it.
you've just seen.
Who's the team you're aiming to beat?
We need to pick a weak team here, so we're going to go with Haas, because they were the
How are
weak
you
team last
expecting
year.
the car to feel out on track?
So let's go for the chassis
The
boost.
other teams now have years of experience, both on and off the track. How are you planning to catch up to them?
I'm not sure, mate. Fuel loads. We'll go with fuel loads because that way our power
Overtaking
division
is
should
a
hopefully
key
get an
part of
upgrade.
this sport. How have you ensured that your car can take advantage of each opportunity that comes your way?
Let's boost the
And finally,
powertrain once
which of
again.
your new
Talk about
departments are you
overtaking.
most proud of?
And finally, let's try and boost the aerodynamics because we need to try and cover all bases.
Well, that's about all we've got time for here. We will see how this fledgling team fares in its first Grand Prix.
So there we go. We have conducted our first press conference interview. We're skipping ahead to qualifying now because what you will have seen on stream, if you did see it, was pretty much what the chat was calling Menu Simulator 2020. So here we go. We go down to the first corner. We take the first and the second with ease. The difficulty, I believe, I had set at the highest that I had played because I haven't played 2019 in quite a while. The difficulty, I believe, was 80, and we did up it because for some reason we performed better than I expected. Also, what you haven't seen prior to this, during Menu Simulator 2020, was doing some off-screen stuff such as like training and everything like that, press conference meetings and other things like that to boost your ability and your team's abilities. But we'll get into that possibly for the next video. I don't want to bombard the video with a load of menus because it's not appealing. So here we go, we're pretty much 60% through this course now. Just 3 or 4 more corners left to go. We are in Australia. Bit of lag there from the Elgato. As you can see, by the way, we are called Harris. The player is based on Chris Harris from BBC Top Gear. Provisionally, in Q1, we go to 9th. Join us now in Q2. Somehow, as I said, we made it into Q2. I wasn't expecting to do this, so we did modify with the difficulty once again. We put it up a little bit. I think we ended on roughly 84. I cannot confirm if that is right or not until we load the game up again. I'm pretty sure it was 4th, 84. But we will probably be upping it to, I think, 90 or maybe 86 for the next race. So as you can see, we do go fastest in the first sector there, putting in a banker time, so to speak, because it is only the first trip we've gone out of. Cut the corner ever so slightly there, possibly a bit too much. Pierre Gasly setting a 126 there, I believe. Max Verstappen absolutely blows that out of the water. Absolutely blows that out of the water with a 124. Hard on the brakes there. Another little bit of lag from the Elgato. It doesn't seem to like that part of the course for some strange reason. And over the line. Let's see what we get here. Provisionally was 9th before. And we do a 123.9. So as you can tell now, we're in Q3. We're provisionally 7th. Whether we set a time or not, just warm the tyres up. Let's do it. As you can see, there's a bit of an overcast forming now. We get over the line to start our lap with 8 or 9 seconds left to go, and we absolutely butcher the first corner. In all honesty, we took it far too slow, and we're already just under 2/10 down. So it doesn't look like a positive lap, to be honest, but it was worth going out there with a brand new set of softs. Very wide on the exit of that corner there. As you can tell, we're 2/10 over the delta. It's not a positive start, and we are red in the first sector, which is terrible. Absolutely terrible. But instead of giving up, we will push through for the lap. We might as well complete the lap now because we have committed to it. We're hard on the brakes there and we're straight over. That's terrible once again. Absolutely shocking. Completely butchering this course. Oh my god, this can't get any worse, can it? We're 3/10, almost 4/10 down to 1 hour on delta. This is absolutely shocking. Gaining a bit of time down the straight though. We slam on the brakes very hard and we cut the corner borderline perfectly there. 3 corners left. There's the first one. We've gained back 2/10, and now we're positive on the delta for a very short amount of time. On the last corner now, we swing it round. We try and keep the foot to the ground. We do. DRS is open. Overtake is on. And we go to 6th. We start our first race of the season in MyTeam in 6th position. Not a bad start in Melbourne.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal. And it's make or break here at Albert Park, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. And home to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. Can Mercedes start with victory in their bid to win a 7th consecutive Constructors' title? Could Ferrari or Red Bull establish an advantage early on? And with 22 cars on the grid, how quickly can the new team find their footing? Well, it's great to be back, Anthony Davidson. We've got a lot to talk about this year.
That's right, Crofty. It felt like a long winter, but it's good to finally be back. I have to think the usual suspects will battle it out at the front, but there are always going to be some teething problems early on in the season, so whoever can keep on top of their issues will have the advantage today.
As I mentioned earlier, we're up to 11 teams this season, with a new entry run by, well, of all things, an owner-driver. That's something we haven't seen in this sport since Hector Raback over 4 decades ago. So how are they looking so far?
It's hard to imagine how a small operation like that could survive in the ruthless world of Formula One, and yet here they are, first ever race looking surprisingly strong. But there are no points for qualifying. Let's see how they fare in the Grand Prix proper.
Let's check the race lineup. As you can tell from what is in front of you right now, Lewis is first, Charles Leclerc is second, Valtteri Bottas is in third, and we get promoted to fourth.
Paris, Carlos Sainz and Albon, Perez, Fiat.
There's been a late penalty for Vettel there, so we've been promoted up to fourth, and Verstappen also with a penalty. Possibly a gearbox change or something like that. So we've gone up 2 positions from 6th to 4th. Not a bad start for Nobu either. Not a bad start at all for Nobu. So we're just going to go through the race strategy and then we're going to skip the formation lap. I have done the formation lap, by the way. It's just that I'm going to skip most of it for this video, and we're going to underfuel the car because I've seen from quite a few people underfueling the car seems to be the best thing to do because you can save it as the race goes on. So here we go. It's a terrible start from me. Bottas absolutely off the line like a rocket. A little bit of contact there. We stay out of Charles Leclerc's arse there because that could have been a absolutely bad start. It was bad enough as it was, but we're still 4th, so that's good. Slow and steady in this first lap. I don't believe we're going to have much race pace if I'm honest with you, but we are gaining on Leclerc here. If we could just stay with the guy for this lap, we should be okay. They just get so much more power out of the corners, look at that. Especially this one. They just leave us for dead. The power they've got when they put it down is absolutely shocking. Very decent, very decent. Sorry if I'm a bit quiet there. I'm just analysing the lap as I'm re-watching this for the first time. And it was a solid first lap in all honesty. It's not the fastest, it's not going to be. But as far as I'm aware, nothing really happens now for like the next few laps. So I may skip through. Just bear with us for a second and see if that's actually what I have done. So we're currently on lap 2. Yeah, we skip over to lap 10 because nothing really happens. Hamilton has come in early for a pit stop. That is the only thing that happened, and I believe he went onto the hard tyres. And I think Charles Leclerc also pitted, but he went onto the mediums. So he's doing a 2-stop race and Hamilton's just doing the 1. So we're 10 seconds behind Bottas. We're not making any headway whatsoever. I can't remember if we actually go into the pit on this lap or if it's the next one. We're keeping a steady 3.4 behind us though. We're not losing much time. It's just like the odd 10th here or there. Trying to be consistent. That is the hardest thing for me personally about this game, is to just try and be consistent, because I'm by nowhere near any form of competitive esport level. I'm pretty much your casual F1 enthusiast, so to speak, I would say. So we're in the pits now. There's no way we're going to get out of Hamilton. The aim is to just get out behind Leclerc, because that is roughly where we were before we skipped a few laps. So here we go. We're just going to pit. Let's see what the pit time is for the brand new team of Pure Racing. It's a 2.1 second stop. That's decent. Leclerc went through about 10 miles ago. I think he's in another postcode now, so we have lost a lot of time staying out an extra round. Not an extra round, an extra lap. So we're onto the hards. We are not doing any more stops. Bear in mind, Leclerc has to stop again because he's on the mediums. We still need to save some fuel, but we're doing okay. We're not a lap down. We're just over 3/4 of a lap down of fuel, but we can easily save that. That's not too hard. We're trying to gain on Stroll now. As you can see on the delta in the top left, we've got an 8.3 second gap. So this lap is mainly just to get used to these tyres. Consider it like an out lap, so to speak. And then the next lap we're gonna try and push, because we need to. So we're gonna probably put everything into the rich fuel mixture, should I say?
Stroll is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is.
Well, Jeff is wrong there, saying 8.2.
On old softs. Their tyres are 10 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a.
Did a 1:31 in his last lap. Jesus, that's pretty slow. So Stroll has gone into the pits now. So here we go. Let's start this power lap. The ERS is on. We're on overtake mode.
Okay, gap ahead is 9.5 seconds.
It's decent so far. A 9.5 second gap between me and Charles Leclerc. Heavy on the brakes there. That is a borderline perfect corner. I like it. I like it a lot. Nice little bit of curve there on the exit as well. Beautiful. And we are on the hard tyres, but we go fastest in the first sector of anybody in the Grand Prix so far. Even Leclerc was on the mediums. We absolutely destroyed that first sector.
6.2 seconds.
And now this is the weakest part for me on this track, is the second sector. I'm not overly good on this. We don't do too bad. We could have done better. We touch a bit of grass there, so you can knock maybe 500ths off that maybe. We only go green, which is a personal best, but it's still a positive. We've got a 9.2 gap now between us and Leclerc, down to 9 now. So another solid end to this lap here. Could have got a bit more of the, could have got some of the inside curb if I'm honest, but we just entered it a bit late. Foot to the floor, and we cross the line and do a 1 minute 27.3. It's our fastest of the race, and I believe it stays our fastest of the race. We don't go any quicker. We try and start to save the fuel now. So we skip over. We was on lap 13 and we have just skipped all the way to lap 25 because nothing happened. The only thing that happened was Charles Leclerc came in for his second scheduled pit. We're a bit late there on the exit. It's terrible. Charles goes through on the inside. Oh, he loses a bit of his front wing. Let's just look at that again in slow motion. So we come onto the racing line. Charles goes down the inside, clips our right hand side of the bodywork. We avoid contact by going to the inside. That's a racing incident. Hopefully we don't get penalised. It's not our fault. If anything, it was Charles' fault for going for a gap that wet there. So Charles has come in, put his new set of mediums on, and now has wing damage. So I can't remember if he pits again or not, or if he just chases after us.
The gap to the car ahead is 24.9 seconds.
So we are approaching a back marker here. And Charles Leclerc dives into the pits to fix this front wing of his.
No need to worry about tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
So that puts Ocon into P4, also moves Sainz up to P5,
Competitors in this race are
and you join us on the last lap of the race. Nothing has happened, so I didn't think you wanted to watch me go around the track 3 times. Just hitting steady laps. So we've got a 26 gap between us and Hamilton. Bottas has recently overtaken Hamilton to go first. Hamilton is now second, obviously. And Ocon and Sainz are well in the points here. We're just trying to keep a 12-second gap because you don't know what could happen. But I was trying to get through the MFD here, trying to get a teammate status, but it kept dropping down to rival.
We have no rival at this time. Gap to car in front is 27.2 seconds. They're on old hards. They're in 18th. The time last lap
18th position, I believe he said there, if I remember rightly. But that's not too bad for Nobu. 2 corners left to go. Technically, it's one of the. It's not really a corner, so that, I class that as the last corner. And here we go. We just swing the car around. We play around on the straight, and we somehow come third in our first race of my team.
did really well. Super driving.
And I realised after that the photo of Ricardo doesn't load for some reason. I realised after that the difficulty needs to be way harder. It's like it's so different. Like in practice, the difficulty needs to be lower, otherwise you can't get any of the resources. Qualifying could do with being higher as well. But the race itself needs to be even higher, so I'm gonna have to go through things and try and figure out what the best difficulty levels are.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the
So
drivers
Bottas there
making their way to the
with the
podium.
victory.
Once again, it's
No
the
one's
silver
obeying
arrows
any
who
social
take top
distancing
spot.
now, look.
A well-earned victory for Mercedes.
I'm trying to. I'm on the right hand side here, trying to stay away, look. Don't want that COVID. So I've got another little press conference interview at the end.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
Well, obviously I came third. What are you playing at? So let's just big the team up. It's all a part of the team. Also, we have to big the team up again. I couldn't do it without a great team behind me, because we don't want to be slagging the team off. Cleanest race? Leclerc went into me, you daft twat. So let's just put the neutral comment at the bottom. And that pretty much concludes the first episode of the F1 2020 MyTeam. If you would like to watch us on the stream where there is the raw footage, you're welcome to do so. If you'd rather wait for the YouTube videos, just don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit a like, and I'll see you next time.